after this semester because it is their last semester. There is no started. Okay. I wish everybody would show us who you are. Okay. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. They're coming through. I picked it up. Okay.
They had to get their party hats on.
Yeah, they got the party's on. Okay. Okay, Dr. Revis and I actually talked last night, and we're still going to figure something out. I don't know what it's going to be, but look at Josh Justice. He's so into deep thought right there. I mean, so. Anyway, Dr. Revis, would you like to get us started? Just speaking.
Okay. Well, welcome to week 7. And guys, you are coming into the home stretch, and we've been talking to you about finishing really strong. And so I know we are going to do that. I know you're working very diligently on your PSYOP, and some of you have asked me some questions about the competency folios. So you're thinking about planning that out, and so I'm so excited for you. I know that it has been 5 semesters, and I know you're excited to be through. Just think of all the free time you're going to recoup when you get through with this program, and what are you going to do with it? So anyway, we're going to continue our discussion tonight on let you ask some questions on the PSYOP and any other questions that you may have on these final things that you have to finish up. So again, welcome to week 7.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Revis. Did want to share with you, and I'm not going to pull it up yet, but it's under week 7, and we're basically, tonight's going to be very, very, very informal. Want us to talk just briefly about some of the takeaways from servant leadership. Just a reminder of weeks 7 and 8. Allow Dr. Revis to refer back to assignment 11 again on digital competencies to see if there are any questions at this point. Any questions about the Taskstream requirements, and then I'm going to do a quick overview of just go through the PSYOP to see where we are, what questions would you have at this point, and then questions and answers. I talked with Dr. Revis, there's too much, you've got too many moving parts right now to really delve in and to start a new idea or a new concept. So I felt like that it was in the best interest to just concentrate on where we are and where we've got to go at this point. I do have to say Hannah's almost cleared the PSYOP. Congratulations, Hannah. She's not quite there, but she's almost there. You can almost see the end of the tunnel, the light at the end of the tunnel, Hannah. But I think with the suggestions that I gave her last evening, that she'll be able to go ahead and turn that around quickly, and I should be able to clear you pretty quickly on the PSYOP work, so you can go ahead and finish it up, Hannah. Others have submitted. You're at different places. Some have. I think I've gotten one person that's up to through task 4, and that may be Libby's pretty close. And Libby's got a birthday celebration tonight with her husband, so that's why she's not here. And Kimberlyn was not able to be with us tonight as well. She's on the road actually doing staff development somewhere. But that's kind of where we are. So with that in mind, let's talk for just a few minutes, because I want to start out before I get into the depth of the work that's due down the road, and really talk pretty plain with you about some things. Let's talk about your assignment on servant leadership. First of all, I enjoyed reading your comments about servant leadership, and I like the way many of you you personalized um, um, the idea of servant leadership, and many of you said that you saw already, you could see yourself, you considered yourself to be a servant leader where you are. Um, let's just talk for just a few minutes about servant leadership, and without regurgitating all the information of it, what was a just quickly, anybody, what, give me your biggest takeaway on servant leadership, what you gleaned from that assignment. And I ask you to go back and look at some of the things that I had placed in Blackboard. I hope you had took the time to do that and to incorporate that into your learning about servant leadership. If you don't answer, I'm going to call you out. Somebody.
Hello. The word that I highlighted about servant leadership was empowerment. And I think that, and I wrote for myself, empowering others. One of the things that I think that I believe that I do well is empowering others to want to serve, understanding the importance of teamwork to get the job done. And even in my recent PLC last semester, I was very intentional about choosing people that don't necessarily, they're not at the forefront. And I think servant leadership is about waking up gifts in others that you see dormant, you know that they have the ability to do certain things, and you share your passion with them, and it empowers them to want to work. So that was one of the things that stuck out to me. It was a quote, and I wrote it in my essay, putting followers first, empowering them, and helping them develop their personal capacities. So that was one of the things that.
So, and that is so, as a leader, that is so important. I have been involved over the last 3 months with communities and schools. We have been, I was part of one of the first cohorts, my affiliate was, to go through some intensive DEI training, and one of the things I'm doing on with my affiliate in Robeson County is that I am rebranding communities and schools in a different way. And one of the things I'm doing is going back and I'm looking at all my social media. I'm looking at everything. And so we were in our last meeting today with the person that has been leading this initiative for us. And one of the things that came up, and it goes along with some of what Rachel was talking about, as leaders, we have to learn how to say no in order for others to be able to say yes. That really stuck out to me, because it's easy for me to say yes, 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 yes all the time, because that's who I am, and you are leaders too. So it's easy for you to say yes, 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 but you've got to learn as leaders when to say no, so somebody else will step up to the plate and say yes. So that goes along with what you were saying, Rachel. So I thank you for sharing that. Somebody else.
I just spoke briefly on that leadership is not to control but to serve, and that, you know, I just personally, I like, you know, helping other people, serving other people. So being in leadership is just an avenue for me to be of service to those under my leadership. But so many times, I could think back, just, I mean, even just with working and things like that, where bosses, they're just caught up with the control they have to be a boss rather than being there to lead and bring everybody along. They're there to tell and things of that nature. And so that's what I spoke on, was servant leadership being there to serve. And even with the teachers under us that will be under us, you know, well, even right now as a teacher myself, I'm a music teacher, but I'm there to serve my teachers. You know, I try to use it, especially the younger kids. You know, if they're learning something in math or something, I can teach a song and music that will help them. That's what I aim to do in my classes. But I would do that in my leadership as well. I would hope so, is that I'm there to serve them, not, hey, I need you to get this done. That's part of the job, but how can we do this together? How can we get this done? This needs to be done. How can we get it done? What's the best way to get it done?
That's good, Josh. You know, there are probably people that, Dr. Revis, that would consider sometimes servant leadership. The perception could be that it could be a sign of weakness. Sometimes you have to really know how to, you know, there's a fine line, and you have to know how to leverage, you know, which way you go, so that it does not come across in a negative way. It goes back to that. It goes back to that concept that, you know, if you make all your decisions based on how you think, you're not going to make always the best decisions. If you speak from your heart always, then you're going to mess up sometime, or a lot of times. But when you let your mind and your heart come together and find that area, that's when you're going to make the best decisions and the right decisions for the most part. And that's kind of where I leverage servant leadership, is when you can find that happy medium, and you can make it work that way. Somebody else before we move forward.
Kind of piggybacking off of what you said, Dr. Stedman, one of the reasons that I decided to go into administration is because of my current administrator. She saw the potential in me before I saw the potential. And so she kind of took me under her wing and gradually gave me more responsibility, and slowly like gave me more tasks that were on the administrative side, just to see if it was something that I could not only handle, but something that I would like, and had little sidebar conversations with me to see if this would be something that I would enjoy, because she saw that potential in me. And then other staff members would start to make little comments about how she favors me, or why does she get to do this, or why is she doing this. But it was because she saw that potential in me to go and do things other than just stay in the classroom, when she would go and observe me and just the interactions that we saw. And being the type of leader that she is, she would have me come in, you know, a few days in the summer and say, well, this is, you know, what we do during the summer to start up the school year, and this is what we would do to close down. And then I became the sit chair. And so this is what all of the Title I information looks like, to a certain degree, you know, what she could tell me at the time, given my position. And so that is a big reason that I became interested in administration, because really, to be honest with you, that was something that I just kind of thought, oh, that's not something that I could ever do in a million years. You know, I'm teaching, this is my lane, I'm going to stay in it. But because of her, in seeing that potential in me and taking that extra step to really show me the potential that I had, being a servant leader, is the reason that I am where I am today.
Okay, thank you, Melissa. That is a great example. One more person, and then we'll move on. Anybody else? Maybe one more. Anything different?
I think is when you talk about servant, it's hard for me. In my paper I wrote, every type of leadership has their form of success. But in my eyes, I only see one to where everyone has success. And that is servant leadership.
That
because,
is, Brandon.
You want to find joy when you're winning,
Mm-hmm.
You don't want everyone just in the building, just because you're winning based off of, you're preaching this certain type of expectation. But if there's joy within all of that, that's what you should want anyway. Because not only will the children benefit, the community will benefit, the school board, school district will benefit, just based off of what you're bringing to the table for your entire school building. So
That's good. Thank you, Brandon. And I will tell you this in closing. Not everybody, you can be a servant leader, but not everybody will always make it easy for you to demonstrate servant leadership with them. So you have to really work hard at it sometime, because some people really will push your button, and it's hard to serve them the way you want to serve them sometime. But you'll figure out those difficult people. Melissa mentioned it, kind of the haters, because she was because of her relationship with the principal, and looking at, there are those that you have to work with as well. So you'll figure all that out in your leadership roles. Thank you for sharing that. Just a reminder, next week, again, we will not be coming online next week. It's the 4th of July week, and we won't be coming on, but that doesn't mean that you're not supposed to work next week. Do not take a week off. You can't afford to take a week off. Assignment 7 is due next week, and that is another of your case studies, your 3rd case study. And then you need to also be diligently working on getting ready for week 8 with your with your work with the Strengths Finder book and the assignments that go with that. Do not wait until the last minute to do that, or you're going to find yourself struggling, and then your assignment will not be what it needs to be. So do not wait until the last minute to work on that. Any questions about the strengths-based leadership assignment? Are there any questions? Does everybody know what's expected of you on that assignment? Everybody knows. Okay, if for some reason you get in there and you have a question, just reach out to me and I'll be glad to answer it on the phone, or I'll send you email me, or whatever you need to do. Reach out to me if you need to. Dr. Revis, with that in mind, just let's go ahead and just delve right into just a quick Q&A for assignment 11 that you introduced last week on the digital competencies.
Okay, so assignment 11 is your kind of capstone assignment, where you're pulling together really everything that you've been exposed to and working with in the entire 5 semesters. We've done a lot of action plans and growth plans in this program, and that's because when you become a school leader, everything you do, every project that you undertake, it should always come with that planning process. So do you have any questions about what you and your team are supposed to be working on and focusing on with assignment 11 and the digital competencies?
Now, and just a reminder, that presentation is not just a it has to be a very well prepared, organized presentation that your team, if it's 2 people, both of you will do it. If it's 3 people, the 3 of you will share that responsibility, but you will share that competency with the whole group. You will become the experts. And remember, Dr. Revis said that in a team, if there's 5 of you in a team for it, where there's not 4 of you in a team, then you need to concentrate on the data set from only one school for all that you're working on that assignment. It's hard to, for everybody to pull from their school and to be effective with it. So it doesn't matter, whose school it is, you're concentrating on and you're learning the process and how to present. So it doesn't matter, which school. You make that decision and just pull the data sets that you'll need from one school. And you can reach out to Dr. Revis first and me second on this assignment if you have any further questions. Just call her, send her an email. She'll respond back, and likewise I will if for some reason you cannot reach her. But she's pretty much available all the time. Before Dr. Revis mentions anything or asks any questions about the Taskstream reminders, let's just remember, is our responsibilities. We're basically we're the period at the end of the sentence. That's the way you need to look at it. We've got to put the period at the end of the sentence for all of you. This is your 5th semester. We really had nothing to do with semesters 1, 2, 3, and 4. However, we have to make sure that everything has been completed for semesters 1, 2, 3, and 4 in semester 5. So we ask you to go back and to do an inventory, a self-inventory, and to look at it. Again, if it's for the competency analysis has to be done, I think it's 3 times counting this semester that you have to respond to the competency analysis. If that hasn't been done, then you've got to go back and you've got to fix it. That's got to be fixed. The School of Ed dispositions has to be done, I think, 3 times. So if your School of Ed dispositions have not been done, you've got to go back and fix it. The requirements are supposed to have been that for semester 1, before you went into semester 2, that you demonstrated a minimum of 80 hours of internship and a log that had to be approved for review only, but you were supposed to have completed those 80 hours, and the proof was supposed to have been there, signed by your principal and signed off by somebody from Gardner-Webb for each of the previous 4 semesters. So at this point, you should have a minimum of 320 hours showing in Taskstream that you've been cleared of. Now, if that has not happened, then you've got to go back and you've got to fix that, and you got to show evidence to Dr. Revis of semester 1, semester 2, not all together. You've got to go back and you got to show evidence of each of those semesters with the dates in there, the activities. And at this point, Dr. Revis is going to be the one that has to sign off that you have cleared that. And counting this semester, you're required. This is not something I make up, Dr. Revis makes up, Dr. Lamb makes up. This is what DPI requires for your certification and for your degree. You have to show proof of successfully completing a minimum of 400 hours by the end of this semester or when it's due for us. So if that's not the case, you got a lot to do. If you've kept up, then hopefully you don't have anything, but I'm just telling you that has got to be done. Your competency folio. This is where you had to create the folio, and it's like each semester you had to bank. Each semester you had to bank what you did, proof of how you met communication or technology, or those kinds of things, proof of it. And Dr. Revis has to go in there and she has to see that it's been done. And now, if it hasn't been done previous semesters, you've got to go back and fix it. In addition to this semester, before she can say, okay, put it all together. Put all the competencies together for your folio into one document to be submitted for an evaluation. The same thing with your internship log. They have to be approved and put together into one final document to be submitted to Taskstream for a final evaluation. None of that has been evaluated at this point. You've been putting them in the bank. or you should have been putting them in the bank. That has got to be cleared. That is one of the final requirements before you can be cleared for to finish the semester and to finish the program. So you need to do a self inventory, and if you haven't scared, then you need to reach out to Dr. Revis sooner than later to see, to talk with her about that. Dr. Revis, I'll let you take it from this point.
Okay, and so during our town hall meeting with Dr. Lamb, he emphasized very strongly that competency folio and all of your work has to be evaluated by July the 25th. So your competency folio doesn't mean that I just review it. I have to review it and tell you it's ready for you to submit for evaluation and put it in and bring it over to your DRF folio. So guys, you've got to start working on those things now. And I'm going to try to share my screen if I could. And this is what we're looking at for your final semester. You've got to, of course, get your PSYOP. It has to be evaluated, guys, by the 25th, not just submitted. Your School of Ed dispositions, your competency analysis. Remember that competency analysis is just a self-assessment. You've done that a couple other semesters. This is new. This is an end of program completer survey that you will only do this semester. Please write yourself a note right now. This, you request comments, or is it request comments or evaluation to Dr. Lamb? He gets those completer surveys, not me and not Dr. Stedman, only Dr. Lamb. You've also got your final competency folio. After I can see that you have 3 evidences for each and every competency, and it's all been approved as you've moved along through the semesters, I will tell you, you are ready to submit it into your DRF folio. And there's a video that shows you how to do that. And I will show you how to, where that video is located here in just a moment. And then you've got your internship log. This is not this semester's, your 5th semester internship log. This is where you put all 5 together after I tell you you're ready, and you upload them here in your DRF folio. Okay? So guys, we can't wait till July the 25th to ask me to review your competency folio. You've already missed the deadline. You need to start working in that competency folio now. Every time you've got 15 minutes, go in and upload a couple of artifacts and request comments from me. That way I can see that you're working. That way we can start clicking these off. Same thing for your internship logs. Go in and make sure, and your internship logs should be uploaded in your competency folio for each semester. Go back in your competency folio, look at the bottom, it's down at the very bottom, and make sure that right now you've got 4 semesters that have been approved by your coach, your clinical coach, the person who works, the clinical coach too, that works with your instructor. So that the only thing that I'm looking at is your internship log for this semester, and then I'll tell you to put it all together. Okay?
Stormy, that is correct.
So
We're only
you've got
requesting comments from Dr. Revis with the Taskstream, with the things she's talking about. Only Dr. Revis.
except for this completer survey.
Right.
Any questions on these things right here that you're showing on your screen?
This may be a silly question, but are we putting all of our internship logs, are we gonna compose them all onto one document? Are we gonna keep them all separate documents?
Dr. Revis, they can put them all as the separate documents, but they have to all go together for evaluation. And you will include in that the one for this semester, but the others you should already have, and you will just put them in order from first semester to the fifth semester in that you don't have to combine. When I say combine them, you got to put them all together. Does that make sense?
And make sure they have been signed each semester by your site mentor.
And when you put it in there, what you may want to do is, because you can put them in there as 5 different attachments in there, and you would just name it whatever your first semester, the second, whatever that semester was. It could be fall 2020, spring 2021, summer 2021. You see what I'm saying? You could go back and name them that way, and they would be chronologically in order, based on your semesters. Is that correct, Dr. Revis?
Okay,
Yes,
thank you.
that's the way. You can do it separately, or you can put them all together and
Right.
scan them as one big document.
Right.
Either way.
Either way is accepted. What is it? Whatever is easier for you. Okay. Any other questions?
But I
of
want to
Dr.
show
Revis?
you.
Go ahead, Dr.
I want to
Revis.
show you real quickly. Can you see my screen? Is it showing our course?
Yes.
Shell?
Yes.
Okay. Let me show you, if I can find it, the video that shows you how to upload your competency folio to your DRF.
Come
Can
on
you tell
down.
me where that
Come on down.
is?
Come on down. Scroll
Oh,
on down.
here it is, right here. Upload your completed competency folio for
Yeah.
evaluation.
There it is.
Okay, and there it is. And it's a quick video that shows you, that tells you what to do. I'm not gonna do that.
Okay, but everything they need
Okay.
everything you need is right there. In that area. Now, one thing, and I don't want this to come across as doom and gloom, but we have to tell you, because time's going to run out. One of the things that you've had, and I'll say a luxury. I don't know that it was a luxury, but you had when it was semester 1, if there was something that was not finished, you were going into semester 2, so you may have gotten by with something, or semester 2, semester 3. This is semester 5. Excuse my grammar. Ain't no another semester, and so there's nothing that you can fall back on. These deadlines are stringent, based on what Gardner-Webb tells us that we've got to do for you to be able to complete the program on schedule. So if it's not done in a timely manner, what will happen is, chances are you will not finish this semester, and you will have to end up signing up and paying for another whole semester. You don't want to do that. You know how much these classes
Dr. Stedman, could I just ask everybody to do one thing this week?
Sure.
And this is 2 reasons. If I could ask every one of you to go into your competency folio and add one artifact that you need to add and request comments from me. One artifact for one competency that you need to do this week. And the reason I'm going to ask you to do that, well, to get you started on it, first of all, but that way I can't see your folio yet. I can only see your folio when you request that first comment from me. And then I want to get in there and I'm going to start seeing where you are. And we're going to start I'm going to start emailing you. We're going to start working on it. Okay. But if you could do that one artifact for me this week, I would really appreciate it.
Dr.
You can do
Revis?
more if you wish.
Dr. Revis, I'm going to take it a step
Yes.
further. I'm going to ask that before tomorrow evening is over with, you don't need to wait till the end of the week. Dr. Revis needs to see at least one artifact from everybody by tomorrow evening. Is that a deal? Everybody, is that a deal? At least one artifact.
Does
so
that? Okay.
that can get her started. And that way, that will let her be able to go in and to review and to reach out to you individually, because some of you may not realize some things, and that will give her a chance to talk with you if she needs to. Okay, this is for your good that we're doing this. Okay. Okay,
Thank
Melissa.
you.
Melissa, you have a question?
Yeah, I was forgot to unmute. For the end of program survey, when can we take that? Do we have to wait further into like the semester, or can we take that at any time?
I would wait, Melissa, and let that be one of the last things that I did, because it may, I would just encourage you to just do everything else and let that be the probably the last thing that you do.
Okay, well, I was just asked because I have my little calendar out, so I was gonna put it on my calendar because I'm very type A. So
yeah, I would do that simply because that should be a reflection on the entire program, and you will not have completed everything if you would do it now. So I would ask that you just hold off on that and let that be the last thing that you do, probably.
okay.
Okay. Everybody good? Did everybody get my email today? Okay, everybody got my email. Give me a thumbs up if you got my email. Okay, if not, then you check. Okay, just a reminder, this is very, very, very important. Make sure, again, I'm just going to go over it. This is for Dr. Stone, who is putting together so a final presentation that I don't want to give all of our secrets away, but it's important that you comply with this and get that information to him by July 3rd. And you notice what I said. He didn't ask for this, but so I can know that it's there, guess who else you got to send that same information to? Me. I want to see it too. So when you send it to Dr. Stone, and I put his email in there, you send that, you copy me in that, and that way I know that my 14 students are cleared, because I want to see all 14 of you with that information in there. And that's a current picture of you, or either you and your family, all smiles, happy pictures. A very brief description of your current job responsibilities, where it is located, and how many years you have been there. You can also mention how long you've been in education, just something brief there, a little bio. And then in 10 words or less, Dr. Stone, Dr. Lamb, they want to know, give us, what is your why? What is your why? In just about 10 words or less, what is your why? And please, don't wait till July the 3rd if you can go ahead and get that done. That way, Dr. Stone can go ahead and begin working on the project that he's working on. And again, that'll be a little surprise that we'll share with you later on. Any questions about what you need to do for us with that? Okay. And I'll talk more about that closer to the end of the program. Okay, with that in mind, let's talk about the SIOP. What questions would you have of Dr. Revis and me about where any of you are with the SIOP? Now, there's still some I have not seen task 1 yet, and I should have at least seen task 1 by now. Really task 1 and task 2 at a minimum. I need to see it. Okay. I need to see task 1. So if I'm talking to you, then get me task 1. That's all I'm going to say. Okay. Questions about anything that I've talked about from task 1 through task 6 at this point? Because I don't want to go over something that's redundant, but I do want to, if I need to, I'll say the same thing again if I need to. I will remind you when you get to task 6, task 6 is a reflection, and I have to tell you, some evaluators look at that more stringently than others do. It clearly says that you are to reflect on your coursework and your clinical experience. You need to make sure that you're very comfortable, that you have, without reservation, talked about both of those with each of the 21 competencies that you're working on. So just make sure it's your reflection, but it needs to make sure that it encompasses everything that you're doing. And I want to share, there's just one thing I want to share before we, let me see if I can pull it up. Class session. Let me see, that's not it. Here it is. And this is in your Blackboard as well. I want to show you that for each of the 6 tasks, do you see, this is what the evaluator is going to be looking at. You need to be looking at what it takes to be accomplished in all of these. This is everything. When it says, this is what the evaluator is going to look at, their grading rubric is aligned with what is under accomplished. And when they don't see that, then they automatically revert back to proficient and they start going down there. If they don't see that, then they go back here. And if it goes here, guess what? It goes back to you. If it's less than this, it goes back to you. It cannot clear unless you have to be minimally proficient. So you need to look all the way down task 1 through 6 and look at this and make sure that it clearly, and do you see the word "and" right there? That's not an option. You've got to have all of this clearly in there, and you've got to have all this right here. So the words, those conjunctions are very, very, very important, because the evaluator is going to look at all of this stuff. Make sure that in all that you're doing, that you clearly are showing your leadership. You're clearly showing that you're working with your administration still, that you clearly are working with a team of your peers, your school improvement team, a group of your peers, and that you're not on an island by yourself. That will be looked at. And if it doesn't show clearly that you are leading a team, then automatically it's going to revert back to here and possibly back to here. And if it goes here, it's going to be sent back. And Dr. Revis and I will be notified as well, because at that point, it becomes, it's like having to go into intensive care at the hospital. You've got to get some one-on-one doctrine at that point. So pull this up, look at it. You need to do your own checklist and make sure that you're very, very comfortable with what it says to be accomplished. Now, I can send it back. Dr. Revis can send it back. And, after a while, I'm going to say, well, it's at least proficient, in my opinion. I want it to be accomplished, but now once I've told you, once Dr. Revis has told you, then we're not going to keep sending it back. We know that we can at least get you probably here, but we want it here. And you should want it there. Dr. Revis, anything that I haven't said that needs to be said about this?
Well, I just think you need to go through and make sure that you've just not copied and pasted a bunch of stuff from your previous work. I think we may, you hear that you can use some data that you have collected and looked at before, but this is a new task with a new PLC, and you have to show that you're leading this PLC. And the key here in this task one, I used to be a state evaluator. If you have not disaggregated your data sets by subgroups, it will get kicked back to you. Okay, so be sure that you have done that in SIOP task 1. And the only thing you're doing in SIOP task 2 is teacher working conditions survey. Well, that's not the only thing, but
Well,
that's
those
one of the things you're doing.
Right, mainly those 5 areas on the teacher working condition survey, though. But the thing is, and again, just a reminder, when you do copy and paste, remember there's things you've got to take out. Don't include the task and rubric directions in what you're copying and pasting. We don't need to see that. And then when you put it in there, remember that there must be, it must read easily, it must flow. I've told you before, those transition sentences are so important. And let's say, for instance, with task 2, instead of just copying and pasting something there that you've already done to begin with, Dr. Revis, I highly encourage that you begin each of these sections with some type of transitional narrative that leads into what we're going to be looking at. And don't just close it with something. A lot of times you can go back with 3 or 4 sentences and you can conclude it with something, and that conclusion automatically will take you directly into what that next task is going to be. It should flow. It should read like a book and like a story. Okay. Any questions about that? Give me a smile and act like you mean it. I saw that half smile, Miss White. But anyway, no, I knew it was at a place that we had to have this conversation. It's just that you have to do it sometime, but I do it with all the love in my heart I can give you. So, because I want you to do well, and I want you to finish well all this work that you've been doing for the last year and a half. I want you to finish well. Anything from anybody? All hearts and minds clear, as they say in Rachel's church and in Joshua's church. All hearts and minds clear. Everybody good? Dr. Revis, anything else before we close out?
No, just reach out to me if you have any questions on those things you need to get done for me.
Right.
And I look forward by tomorrow evening seeing a lot of good submissions on at least one artifact.
And I'm going to have to tell you, don't you let Dr. Revis have to call me and say, I don't have something from so-and-so. I will call you out. I'm going to call you out.
I'll tell on you.
He's going to tell on me. We have to. Yeah. We got to do it. Y'all know we love you and we want you to do well. That's why we're pushing where we are right now. Okay. Just remember, you're almost there. Almost. And we're going to get you there. Thank you, Joshua. They said their hats are in honor of my birthday, which was Saturday. Thank y'all. I hadn't even thought about that. Thank you. That's so special. Makes me feel, Dr. Revis, I don't mind telling them I was a happy 66 years old on Saturday.
Wow.
I know I don't look
Well,
like
you look
I
you look
don't
young for
like it. I don't act
66.
like it. I don't know what I'm supposed to act like or look like at 66. I'm just me, I hope when I'm 100, I'm like this. Y'all, I have to tell you, this is my new hat. My wife bought me
Amen, brother.
my hat. My wife bought me this one for my birthday, and I want you to know to see the color, the teal blue. Well, I didn't go enough. I got my teal blue tie on. I got my teal blue shirt on. I went to work matching today now. So I got a lot of compliments. So, but anyway, but thank y'all so much. And thank you for sharing that with me. That's special that you wore the hats today like that. Thank you so much. Love you guys and want you to do well. Okay. Okay, Dr. Revis, thank you so much for all you do to help us. Okay. Good night, guys.
Oh, you're welcome, guys. Reach out.
Okay, bye-bye.